It could be empty boxes for all you know. I'm sure it's not going to be. Okay, we now have two very special awards. A bit of a thank you from the Masjid to two of our very, very special members of staff. I say they're special because unfortunately for you, and unfortunately for the Masjid, but fortunately for them, Allah Ta'ala has blessed them with other opportunities, and they are no longer going to be with us as of July. So these are two members of staff that are leaving the madrasa, and we want to honor them and thank them, and we can't honor them and thank them when you're talking. Thank you very much. We want to honor them and thank them just with a goodbye present from the Masjid. The first is a very young, talented teacher, only been at the madrasa for a short amount of time. In fact, I think she started similar time to when I started. This is Sister Anisa Hussain. Please come forward and receive your thank you present from Qari Sahib. Bahut Mubarak and congratulations. Nare Takbir. MashaAllah. Nare Risalat. Bahut shukriya. That was Anisa. Allah Ta'ala bless you, whatever you are deciding to do in the future. May Allah bless you and increase you in your ilm and your amal. The second teacher is one of our star teachers here. They're all stars in their own ways. So this gentleman, mashallah, is a very, very dedicated young man. He's been serving the madrasa for over 2 years, mashallah. And again, with a very sad heart, we have to say goodbye to him. I'd like to welcome him with a huge nara, Takbir and Risalat, and say salam to our honorable Ustaz, Janab Ikram Haqqani Sahib. Nare Takbir. Nare Risalat. Ustaz Haqqani Sahib. MashaAllah. Bahut bahut khoob. Okay, these are two. Okay, now this is now continuing the teachers' appreciation. And Shabir Sahib is going to announce these because these are two very special awards given to dedicated teachers who've given over and above their normal call of duty, if you like. Two very special teachers who receive a glass shield from the Masjid, again in honor of them and to thank them for their hard work. I'd like Shabir Sahib please to announce those names. We have a male and a female teacher, I think. Even I don't know the names.
Yes, I do. Because I actually know them, and I mean, they're all teachers in this madrasa. They actually work hard. And then we, as I said, we got now 2 extra teachers. One is replacement, and one is because Hafiz Sahib is going to give me a hand in the office. So his younger brother, K2TV Sahib's younger son, he's also Hafiz. So he's with us now. So we, mashallah, get more class. All the teachers here, at this present moment, they work very hard throughout the year, and nobody knows better than myself in this all the time. But there's a difference. I mean, the special mention, Hafiz Moin Sahib. His class is 2.5 hours, and he's so busy and he's so dedicated to the class that each time I pass by, I have a meeting in every class. That's part of my job and responsibility. And I've never seen anyone work that hard. Is Ibrahim Mushtaq, B6. And the Hafiz Sahib here, they work hard. I mean, it was Ikram who was working very hard. So Abdullah, he does his best. So on the ladies' side, everyone is working hard. But unfortunately, what we have to do is we have to look at the results of the class. It's not without the teacher hasn't taught them anything, but we look at the results. These things are based on those results. And if you see all the results here, there are 2 classes in particular. G5 and B5, exactly the similar position as last year. Last year, none of them failed, but this year, 1 failed in each class. Only 1 failed in each class, everyone else passed. One had 20, one had 21 students. So, I will just give this medal to Mohtaram Haji Saab, who are my right hand and my left hand as well, in this office, to pass it down to Ruxana Asif on G5 for best performance this year, throughout the year.
MashaAllah, Mubarak. MashaAllah.
یہ سارے میڈل اوارڈ ایک ہی گھر میں جا رہے ہیں.
And now, the last one, which is, as mentioned Uzair already, and he has spoken about the new change, the Qaeda. He's, as I told you already, he's the son of K2TV Saab, and he's also alim, and he's a great help. But his class is not only taught what he has been told to taught, but he is taught them things extra which we were not told to taught them, like memorization of surahs, the last surahs of the Quran, and other matters as well, because I have tested them on the practical exam myself, and I have found them very good in a sense. Many of the classes done very well, and this reward actually goes to Uzair Tayyab, and he's going to receive it from Haji Saab.
Nare Takbir. Nare Risalat.
And I just say well done to both of them. I'm very proud to have them, all of our teachers, yes. And this is all from me today, and I hope you have a nice break, and please. Well, I'm actually as far as I'm concerned, but it's,
Thank you. It's not finished yet. No, I just you were saying those words, and I didn't want to close things. Okay, we've got 2 or 3 last kind of speeches, just some thank you words, and then inshallah we'll close. We're going to close at the normal time at 6:30. So sit tight. I'm not going to pass on until we have absolute silence. All right. Thank you. Absolute silence. And the girls as well. So. I'm going to pass the mic on now, please, to our Honourable Ustad, one of the seniors here, the most senior person, the most experienced person here, the person who's dedicated most of his life here to this masjid. He is our principal, Janab Qibla Qari Jubaid Akhtar Saab.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. सबसे पहले आप तमाम अहबाब को, तमाम हज़रात को, बच्चों को, बच्चियों को, बड़ों को मुबारकबाद हो. अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ये हमारा साल बहुत अच्छा बच्चों की पढ़ाई का गुजरा. अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त मज़ीद बरकतें अता फरमाए, और सब टीचरों ने बहुत अच्छी मेहनत की है. अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त मज़ीद मेहनत की तौफ़ीक़ अता फरमाए. हमारी इस टीम में इस वक्त मियाँ ताहिर साहब ये वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हैं, इनके हिस्से में ये तालीम का एजुकेशन का जो काम है वो आता है. अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह पूरी इंतज़ामिया बिलखुसूस मियाँ साहब हमारे साथ भरपूर इस मसले में ताउन कर रहे हैं. और इसी तरह चौधरी मोहम्मद सलीम साहब ये पिछले 2 साल से वॉलंटियर तौर पे काम करते हैं, मस्जिद में आते हैं, क्लासेस देखते हैं. बहुत से मामलात जो इनके ज़िम्मा हैं बहुत ही अक्सर तरीके से सर अंजाम दे रहे हैं. और हमारे आज के जो मेन मतलब के हेड मैं इन्हें कहता हूँ हाजी शबीर साहब, ये सारी इनकी मेहनत है. पिछले साल से इन्होंने इस मस्जिद के लिए अनथक मेहनत शुरू की. आप ये जितने रिज़ल्ट देख रहे हैं, प्रिंट करना, जितने भी लिफलेट आप तक पहुँचते हैं, ये सारे ये अपनी मेहनत से, मोहब्बत से करते हैं. और आज जितने इनामात दिए गए हैं इसमें ये बड़े इनामात जितने भी हैं, ट्रॉफ़ीज़ हैं और मेडल है, कैश प्राइज़, ये हाजी साहब ने तमाम अपने पास से दिए. इन्होंने मस्जिद से नहीं लिए. हमने इन्हें बहुत कहा अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त इनकी दराज़ी उम्र ने ता फरमाए, इनकी अहलियत बीमार हैं, दुआ फरमाए अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त को नसीहत ता फरमाए. इस मस्जिद के लिए मैं इन्हें एक तोहफ़ा समझता हूँ. हम सब के लिए अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ये भरपूर अहसन तरीके से, और सबसे बड़ी बात है लगन से, मोहब्बत से. इस तरह इंसान अपने घर का काम नहीं करता जिस तरह ये अल्लाह के घर का काम कर रहे हैं. अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त दीन और दुनिया इनका सवार दे, और इसका अजर इन्हें दुनिया में भी मिलेगा और आखिरत में भी मिलेगा. और हमारे हाजी गुलाम रब्बानी साहब हैं। जब आज चौधरी सलीम साहब नहीं थे हमारे साथ 4-5 महीने, तो इन्होंने बहुत वक्त दिया, उनकी जगह पे इन्होंने पूरी ड्यूटी जो है वो सरअंजाम दी, जो भी काम थे अहसन तरीके से इन्होंने भी सरअंजाम दी। अल्लाह रब्बुल इज़्ज़त इन्हें भी इसका अजर अज़ीम अता फरमाए।
Jazakallah khair, Kaisab. Very important thanks, words of thanks. And if those of you didn't understand Urdu, just at the end there, Haji Sahab, those cash prizes in particular, and I've been saying to him many, many times as well, he loves you so much. I want to say this openly and publicly. He loves you so much, and he wants to give you as much as he can. And if he was able to, he would give you even more. That's the kind of love that this person has for you. All I ask for you is that you pray for him and our honourable auntie who's not been well recently, his honourable wife, and that you allow him to receive those mercies, those rahmah, your du'as. If that's what he says all the time, I do it for the sake of the children, I do it for your sake. All you need to do in return is to pray for him and also show your appreciation and thanks. Okay. Last, before we have our honourable Vice President Sahab, we have a bit of a surprise guest for you. Some of you were here on Shab-e Barat, the program that we had on the Nisf min Sha'ban, the middle night of the month of Sha'ban, and it was an all-night program. Alhamdulillah, it's a beautiful program. Some of you weren't here, some of you were, but I met a very young gentleman there on that night, and I got speaking to him, got to talk to him, and I became very, very inspired by his story. And this is now for all of you young children. This young man who I'm going to invite on the stage just to say a few words of encouragement, and perhaps he wants to reflect on what he's seen here today. He's a young Hafiz. Hafiz Haidar Sahib is born and raised here in Manchester, did his Hifz here in Manchester, and he completed it, wait for it. Thank you, boys. We have a guest coming up now, so we need to be even more appropriately behaved. Thank you. He completed his Hifz at the age of 10, alhamdulillah. He's a very, very talented young person. Allah Ta'ala has blessed him. He's going to be reciting the Taraweeh this year, as he has been doing for many years. I'm going to call him forward just to recite just a few verses from the Holy Quran. We've only got 7 or 8 minutes left. We also need to hear from our president at the end. So just for a few minutes, I'm going to call upon my learned brother, Hafiz Haidar Sahib. Bismillah.